In Java, you can store objects in files and retrieve objects from files. All the objects properties can be stored. This is not the best way to store data, but it's one of them. There are so many other options. You're going to study them in other courses. When you go to web programming and databases, you're going to see two different ways or more than two different ways. Even from Java, you can do that, but unfortunately, you cannot cover everything in one semester. Object serialization is when you store objects and its states to a file. This is called serialization. Restoring the object back from the file to its Java object is called deserialization. There is one simple thing that you need to do, which is implementing the serializable interface. It really does not need any extra code from you. At this level, you just need to know that any object you store or serialize must implement the serializable interface. Then you can go and create a file output stream. This is a file output stream, byte-based file name. If the file does not exist, it creates it. If the file exists, it overwrites it. Then on top of the file output stream, you create object.
There is nothing in this screen.
دكتور الشاشة ما
That's fine. That's fine. That's fine. On top of the object, on top of the file output stream, you create the object output stream. Good. So file output stream first, then object output stream. What you use in the constructor of the object output stream? The file output stream. When you read objects from files, you do the opposite. You're going to be using file input stream, then object input stream on top of the file input stream. Storing files, objects in files is called serialization. Restoring them back to their Java object status is called deserialization. This is one simple example here. We have the dog class. The only new thing you see in it implements serializable. No extra code required at this stage. Now we create an object, dog1. Then we need to store it to a file. Please look at this now. Try catch. When you work with files, you're going to be using try catch. Also on this one, there are so many exceptions that need to be caught. However, here we just make it simple. We use the superclass exception. Type file output stream, new file output stream, file txt. So a new file called file txt will be created. You cannot write objects directly to a file output stream. You need to create object output stream based on the file output stream. That's it, خلاص. Once you do this, you are 95% done. Then you just write the object, dog1. So dog1 will be stored in the file. How to read the object back? Of course, you're not going to do it in the same example, usually. But here to make the example complete, you need file input stream, new file input stream from the same file, object input stream, based on the file input stream. Then whatever you read with the read object is going to be object. So the function that you're going to use or the method that you're going to use is called read object. Read object, returns object. You know what objects are available in your file now. In this example, it's dog. You must cast it to be able to use it as a dog object. So that's it. Then you need to close everything. There are so many exceptions here, ya shabab. However, they are all summarized in exception. There could be file not found exception, class not found exception, class not cast exception, IO exception, and we'll see this. Let's do this. Let's go to the code here. We have this example here in files. Object serialization. Please look at it. I'll do another example, but this is quick. I have person class. See the person class here? It's very simple. The only new thing you see, implements serializable. It has name, only name. That's it. That's name. Fine. How to output it to a file? Okay. Object output stream. Then, as you see here, forget about the object input stream now. Object output stream, new object output stream, a new file output stream. Person.dat. So here, what's going to happen here is you're going to create a file called persons.dat. You decide the file name, the extension. I can create whatever. Here I created two objects, person1, person2. So write object person1, write object person2, and close the object output stream. That's it. So in the file now, there will be two objects encoded, serialized, and encoded in the file persons.data. The objects are Ahmed and Hind. If I run this code, I can go to my files here, person.date, here. You see, data is available here. Two objects. Even if I delete it, yeah, Shabab, since I'm creating a file input output stream, it will create the file. If you don't see it right away, you go to here and refresh. Go to the project folder, root folder, and look for refresh and go back here. This is the file. Right. Next, how to read the objects from a file? You do the opposite. Object input stream, a new file input stream. Now in this example, very important loop. I want to keep reading until I reach the end of the code, of the contents of the file. So here, what loop you get or you use? It's a read object not equal to null. Read object not equal to null will keep reading objects until you reach the end of file. See some exceptions now. So here, while object, which is equal to n, which is the object input stream, that is based on the file input stream, which reads the file.persons.dat. While this is not equal to null, okay, this is the object. Cast the object to person. See, P, you're not creating new object. You're not creating new thing here. You're just casting the object you restored to person. Person, if you look here, we have P, person P. So here, P, you are reading it as an object, casting it, then you can use it as a person. Get name.
Doctor, is this the only way to check if there is
so
more
many ways to store data in Java. One of them
to check if there is more objects in the file.
This is one way. This is one way. But look at the exceptions that you need to pay attention to. Reach the end of file. What's this exception? EOF. Tell me what's EOF.
End of file.
There is no more
End of file exception. End of file exception. Of course, if you catch it, your program continues. خلاص, no problem. يعني I reach the end of file, everything is fine. طيب. IO exception. You know you can catch multiple exceptions in Java, right? Now, you just use the bar here between them. One single bar. So here, if it's IO exception, our class not found exception, you can do what? You can print this. Right. Yeah, Shabab. Maybe the person class is not available in this project. Maybe I gave you a file and you try to open the file and cast it in a different project, but that person class is not available there. So which exception are you going to get if the person class is not there? Class not found exception.
Class not found.
Yeah. If the file does not exist, you know what you're going to get. File not found exception and other things. File not found exception is a subclass of what? IO exception. Does that make sense?
Yeah, Doctor, now they are in order, right?
They are in the same order written. You can retrieve them the same order they were. Hey, Ahmed Hind, right? Here we are just reading them. Ahmed and Hind. We'll do this example again, but now we'll do in a loop and an array list. You all know the employee class. Let's look at it, ya shabab. Look at the employee. I just added serializable. Name, ID, salary. Any question? And toString. Any question, ya shabab? Tamam? So, how to write a list of objects or many objects? Employee now. We'll create an employee. So, test object right. I have here 3 employees. I'll just take this code because this is the important thing to me. Okay? I created 3 employees. Then what I need? Yalla, tell me. I need 2 things. What are they? File.
File input stream.
File
Output now.
Output.
Output stream. F out. I need object.
output stream.
Output stream. Okay. obj out. Is it fine? Yellow.
Yes.
So now try. Hatta if you don't do try, see what's gonna happen. You know that. Out or O.
It will give an error because it's a
EJ
checked.
out. It will help you also. Equals new object output stream based on new file output, or I can here say okay, file output new file output stream.
Doctor,
No
you
need.
need to specify which file, right?
Yeah, here. Let me call it emps.dat. What's the file name now? emps.dat. The code is
دكتور ليش ما
correct.
حطيت في البارامتر الاس اوت او الفايل اوتبوت ستريم؟
I حطيت a new output stream. خلاص no need for it. I
Ah,
created
okay.
a new one.
Okay,
Okay.
شتى
يعني في
Can
طريقتين
you
دكتور
can
صح؟
you write
Yeah.
S out
It's
equal
around
new?
with the try catch now. Yeah, there are so many ways.
Doctor,
Yes.
can you put S out equal new file output inside the parameter? Like make a variable inside the parameter?
Of course, yes.
Or no?
What you need is a file output stream object. And we did this all the time. We create a new add, new employee.
No, I
We-
mean a new variable with the variable name. Not only new, like maybe
Yeah.
object out equal
Object name means the object has been created. But it must be initialized. But the syntax does not allow to say you say object out or then new.
Okay.
يعني you either
Only-
create it and then use it, or يعني if you say here, for example, f out equals new file output stream, then you can use f out here. تمام؟
Okay,
يعني
okay.
if you use this here,
in case storing
Then-
it or not.
then you can do here what? f out.
F out, yeah.
Okay? ماشي؟
Yes, I'm good.
And maybe it's gonna ask us about a new exception. What is it? f out cannot be resolved to a variable. It seems I named it. I removed it أنا هناك صح؟ I removed it from here. Right? Now it's back. Does that make sense, يا شباب? So now I need to write all the objects to that file. Yalla, tell me how to do it. obj out.
While
Right.
obj equal
Right.
write object.
There are so many things to write, but what we're looking for is write object. E1. Tamam? Then what?
E1.
E2, E3. Good? E2 and E3. To make a long story short, you close it. obj out dot close. Time. Run. No errors. Of course, you can have finally and these things, but I got no errors. خلاص تمام. طب how to check this? Let us see the file here. Let me refresh. Did I start recording, يا شباب?
Yes, doctor, yes.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Okay. Let me emps.dat. Where is emps.dat? Here. we have some data inside it. تمام?
Doctor,
Good. نعم.
in which cases we need to use the IO exception? I really don't
Whenever
know.
we work with files, there are IO exceptions. It depends. يعني I cannot limit all of them. There are so many. And usually you are told by Eclipse which exceptions need to be caught.
Doctor, like,
So what
what is
code
the
you
code?
put inside the try?
Okay, what is the code that will produce an IO exception? Maybe
Okay.
an example of code.
File output stream.
If the file is not there.
Yeah, this is one of them. File not
But
found
you said that
exception.
it makes the file if it's not there, right?
Yeah,
Like
no,
you can-
if you are reading, if the no disk called D, for
Oh,
example,
reading.
have-
Okay.
if any error happens, okay?
Okay.
Tamam? So now I output the data. I output the data to the file. Let us say in a different world, someone else needs to read the data from the file and convert them back to employees. Maybe single employees or an array list of employees. It's up to you. Okay? Let's me here test read objects. I will do the same thing here. I will. Here we have more exceptions to catch, because here we'll be looking for an input file. We'll be looking for what? Casting also and. Okay, can I start from here? File input stream, object input stream, employee and object. Okay, then I need object or try. Okay, fn equals new file input stream. What's the file name? emps.dat. Then what? obj equals new object
And then fin inside.
stream fn. Of course, let us see what things catch. Let us see what exceptions they need. And you can ask, okay, but I know some of them. For example, IO exception. IO exception.
And in the file as well. But in the file before the IO, if you
Huh?
want.
We
In
will
the
see
file
that.
as well,
We
but
will see that.
before.
It depends on the hierarchy. Okay. You always put the
IO is the superclass.
you
So-
put most specific first and the most general at the bottom. We studied that when we studied the
Don't
best
you
way.
need-
If you don't remember them,
You need to.
I make this
put the
code here. See?
OBJ. Sorry, doctor, but OBJIN, right?
OBJ اسمها here. Yeah, IN. Yeah. Here now, if you don't remember the code, okay, and you try to do this, somehow في شيء ناقص عندي here, right? Yeah, one clearly. Somehow, okay, it will tell you what. There are so
Because
many
it's
exceptions.
checked.
One of them is what? File not types around with. Okay? I'll put both of them in the same one. Maybe now they'll tell you what? What's this one? Which exception they want?
IO exception.
IO. Surround with try catch type. Instead of try, just make one try and don't listen to them. Okay? Catch IO exception. Catch not found. By the way, file not found exception should be first. Right? You understand this?
Yeah, but in general.
Yes.
Tamam. So now I can take this here and catch not found exception, catch IO exception. Okay. Sysout e.get message, for example. And here. Yeah, Shabab. Print stack trace will show you a lot of data. This is good when you are developing or debugging. But for the deployment and production, you cannot use that because the user will not understand anything. Maybe a secretary or an accountant is using your system. So here now, so far, I am reading just give me a minute. Here so far, I open the file input stream and then ObjectOutputStream. Yeah, I'm ready to read objects. how I'm gonna stop يلا while what
while object
Object.
equal
object equal dot in dot
in read
obj
object in object in, yeah,
in dot
dot
read object.
read object
in.
okay
Equal
okay
not
it's not equal
not equal
not equal to null.
to null
not equal null.
what to do طبعا هي فيها okay here I need
And then
OBG.
cast
Dot
cast
wait
deserialization.
okay في غلط هون عندي unhandled try
the bracket
exception اللي هو ايش now one more
end
exception
of file
is that
end of
no
file.
no still the end of file is not a problem now
fn اتوقع
no you're gonna do
Class.
cast here
class not found, yeah.
okay so you need class not found exception right so I can add it later هلا بس خلينا نكمل اللوب here you can put a try inside another try you see here this try for only this part تمام هلا what is our task now emp is equal to what
downcast.
employee and object let us make our life sys out for example emp so we'll see whether we got our data yes or no run ems.data the cannot find the file specified the name was wrong
Doctor, did you close it? Well, it doesn't matter.
no problem هلا no problem but the first error
imp
not
dot
data
that
date. Yes
that
so which one worked now file not found exception صح
لا دكتور اسم الفايل صح imps.dat.
yeah I know no it was data
can
Oh,
data.
yeah now which one okay that was file not found exception is this our information يا شباب
Yes.
okay
Yes.
the 3 employees are back now and they are employees
How about
Right.
the null part?
this is when you reach the end of file here this message when you reach the end of file
Oh.
okay خلاص يعني no more if you have يعني okay you get that message let me just put
دكتور
this.
لو
يعني it's not an error here because okay so far no errors
Okay,
تمام
doctor, I have a bit of stupid question here. Can we
Go
put
ahead,
a
no
try and
stupid
catch? Can we put a try and catch inside the catch? And
Yeah.
maybe the catch is a
no
super
inside the
class?
catch will be complicated try inside another try
دكتور الترتيب يفرق داخل
But
الكاتش
you can-
لو
والله شوف I can tell you this way is better okay at this stage this way خليني اخلص بس okay and here what they say هو كان هيك صح I'll just make one try instead of multiple tries that's what you want you can put a try inside another try no problem
Yeah, try and try is okay, but catch inside the catch. Maybe
لا ما هو try
the
catch
catch
inside
has a
a try.
super class.
No. Try catch inside a try. Catch a different thing يعني. If you want here to close a file, you can put try catch. Yeah.
دكتور
Is your question here like here? Can I do this?
Yes, can you do try
Okay,
and catch
try-
inside the catch?
Yeah. Try close catch IO exception. The
Will it
answer your
produce the
question
null?
now?
Will it produce the null?
What? Wait. You are doing something that might at your catch. You are doing something that might catch an IO exception.
Yeah,
So
will it give you the null in the output
ليش؟
as well?
ما له علاقة.
Because,
Null ذاك when it was reading يا سيدي. Null is not an exception. It was reading. Okay. EX. I'll just call it EX. تمام؟
دكتور
Oh.
دكتور الترتيب يفرق
شوف
داخل الكاتش لو اني جبت اكثر من اكسبشن داخل الكاتش نفسها.
Yeah. It became complicated صح؟
اي والله
It became complicated here. Okay. So the best way is not to make it that complicated. You can make it easier, much easier than that. If يعني I can show you the code يعني read imps from text maybe here. يعني here I can have okay. You can catch exception. If you want to make it simple, you can just catch exception. But we don't want to make it that simple, Ahmed. Okay. Let us now finalize the code. Test read object now. This is our employee صح؟ تمام؟ I will go and just get rid of all these things. تمام? Okay. And here get rid of all these things. شو بقول لي هون؟ Unreachable. Why unreachable?
specific.
IO
Hierarchy.
exception is a superclass.
So what do you think now? What's the best thing to do? على فكرة في واحد
Switch.
ثالث تحت. خلي الواحد فيهم ايش كان هو؟ Which one
Last
we
not
have?
found. صح؟
Last not found exception, right? Okay. So can I put this first here?
Yes.
And this one second, maybe? Okay, no need for this one. This one is going to be what? Class not found exception. مكتوب غلط صح؟
البي
لا ايش بيقول لي؟
دكتور
Last
كلمة found.
be result as a type. شو مكتوب غلط؟
كلمة found.
Found. Good. We are done here. خلاص. Okay. Now I can close the obj in dot close. Okay. تمام. Let me read now. So I'm done.
حلو.
I'm reading all my files. I just want to say one more thing. Sometimes you want to read your data, not like this. You want to put all of them in an array list of employees. Do you agree with this, يا شباب?
Yes.
يعني from the file you want all of them to be an array list of employees. والله no problem. خلاص هيها. Array list. Array list of what? Of employee. Emps. تمام؟ اوكي. Equals
في
new
الحالة دي يا
array.
دكتور النل هتدخل جوه الاري ليست كمان
طيب
ولا
انت ليش مركز في النل الله يرضى عليك؟ استنى شوي خليك معي.
مضايقاني الصراحة.
خليك معي ما لما
بس
تسألني
يعني.
عن شغلة وإذا ما جاوبك عنها معناته خلينا في الفوكس في الأشياء
اوكي.
اوكي ماشي الحال. اوكي هلا what to do now after you cast it imps list بدي أسميها هاي imps list. So I have imps list أنا. Okay, so I'm gonna add all the objects to the imp list. I'm not imp list dot add emp. So your employee list now will be full. I can now say for
each.
employee in imps list صح sys out e. Does that make sense now? Okay. If you want to see how many employees read, okay, imps list dot size.
Size.
Okay, and I just want to show you that this is not part of the list يا اللي سألني عن النل تحت هلا. This is one of the when you reach the end of the file يعني. Okay. Okay, if you close something without this is not part of the data you are reading. Okay, it goes to one of the exceptions here. يعني this is not part of the data. Does that make sense? You have only this in the data. This is one of the messages here generated. Told you. Sometimes exceptions are unavoidable, but now it should be fine. So in this example, I showed you how to read employees back from a file one by one, and how also you can do them back to an array list. Let me show you one more example. I'll copy paste most of the code here. I will show you how to write an array list to a file and return it as an array list. Okay, I'll just need to copy the name here. I'll make a new class here. Class test write list. يعني we will write an array list to a file. Does that make sense يا شباب? You get that?
Yes.
يعني we write an array list to the file, not an array. Where test write object? Test object write, هاي هي. Okay, I need a main method, no problem. I'll take this by the way. Okay, I'm not going to repeat the same code. here. I need a main method. Main space main method. Copy. Okay, I have 3 employees here, right? Good. I'll create an array list of. يعني in case you have it. خير وبركة.
يعني
If
you will save all the employees in the array list, then you will pass the array list to the file.
emps list equals new array list of employee and open close. Okay. Let me add all the employees. Emps list dot add E1, E2, and E3. Any question about this? Any question? Okay. So I added in the entire array list. Okay. Here also I can say write what? No need to write them one by one. And they will be stored as an array list of employees. But if you do that, emps AL. What's the file name يا شباب now?
MCL.
Array list. تمام? So now if I run this, the array list will be stored at once. Good? No output. Here you will see that if you refresh, you have a file with all the contents of the emps array list here. Good? Right. How to read the array list? Again, I'll copy paste the other code. You know that. You know what I'm doing. Okay. You know what I'm doing? Yes or no? Test read object array list. أظن في عندي واحد ثاني هون. لا خليني أعمل هيك. Just a second. Which one I did now? I did here. This one, list, right? And here I'm just gonna copy paste the same code and same name even. تمام? Okay. New class. I'll call it list with the main method. I'll go to the test read object. This is the one I did a few minutes ago, صح? Right? I will now try to use it. Okay, this is the main method. Here. Good. Now what I'm gonna do now? I'm not gonna read object by object.
Read the array list.
حتى maybe okay, one by one or whatever. But how I'm gonna cast it? I will say here emps. No need for new. خلاص ما هو. You are reading it. You are reading everything as one list. Here, what? Emps list. I'm going to cast it to what? يعني I'm reading the object as an array list of employee. Let us see here. Cannot be resolved as a variable. ايش بيقول لي هون؟
البراكتس يا دكتور.
حط البراكتس
وين؟ وين في براكتس؟
لا حط براكتس حواليه ككاستنج.
Yeah. Sorry. Okay. So now one time I'm reading all of the list because I stored it as a list. صح ولا لا? Right? ايش سميناها هون؟ emps list. صح؟ emps list. ايش راح يقول لي هون؟ ليش بعطيني error؟ The local may not have been initialized. يعني ممكن نقول له equals عشان الكود هداك ما يعمل أو is equal to null أو شيء. لأنه array list must be initialized. Let us see this now. Exception. في عنا class cast exception cannot be cast to Java array list. Let us see where. Okay. Let me see this. No, I can read it this way. Is this how we do casting?
But maybe because the array list it's made of objects, but the array list itself is not an object. That's why when you make a while loop, object is equal object.
Just a second. Let me see how I can show you the example itself. I'm preparing emps test.
The file name.
File name is wrong, صح? عطوه please. Thank you يا مين اللي معنا؟ Yeah, file name is wrong. The code is right. Okay. Just read object list. Here we should have MSAL. AL. Right? Because we were
Yes.
casting objects. Now we need, okay. تمام.
دكتور
Does that
البتاع
make
علق
sense?
عندي، ممكن تقول تاني، ممكن تقول اللي عملته تاني.
The file name was wrong. بس.
اوكي.
We were casting objects to array list. كان في class cast exception. Now we are reading the right file. So we are casting it directly to an array list. So in one step يعني فاهمين علي. You see what I'm saying? In one step I get and cast array list of 10 or 1 million employees. Does that make sense يا شباب?
دكتور
Yes.
هلا هاي الوايل لوب بس حتسوي اكسكيوت مره صح؟ لان حنحط كل
Yeah,
الاري
if you don't
ليست.
want- yeah, you can read it without a while loop. Yeah.
اوكي.
يعني you can, if you are just reading once, you can read it with a while loop, without a while loop. I later post some example which reads and updates and sends data back. Okay? ماشي? But here is one way of doing it. Does that make sense يا شباب? How to read data to a file as objects, object output streams, object input streams, and all these things. Any question before we finish this part?
How did you read it without the while loop again, please?
He said, do we need a while loop in this example? I said no.
Array list. No need.
There is only one array list in the يعني there is only one array list.
Okay.
يعني one object, no need to do a while loop, but while loop is gonna work fine يعني. But in the previous example, when we were reading multiple employees, we needed a loop يعني. Here with or without a loop is gonna work. We know there is only one array list, right?
Yes.
تمام. Any question about this object output stream? We did it with single objects, multiple objects, array list of objects, restoring it back and forth between the file and of course you need to know that you can read data and store them back and send them to a function. Files can store them to a function. We'll see this later in another example. Any question about this first part يا شباب?